All
Okay,
right,
so
welcome everyone to the podcast for the blind. Today we will be reviewing the Nine Inch Nails discography alongside Frankie and Slim and Jimin.
Yo,
Now, it's been a while since I've showed
yeah,
up, but you know how it is,
yeah, suppose.
living in the woods and all.
yeah, well, it was fun last week when you showed up for like a little cameo appearance for Shadow and
The
Disappearance.
random cameo feels was
The
fucking funny as fuck.
It's the post-credit scenes where Thanos shows up in
Mm.
the first Avengers.
All right, so in
I've
this week's
never watched the Avengers. Don't spoil that.
episode, we're going to re-talk about Muse.
The fuck off. Well,
We're
not
talking about
again.
Muse's albums backwards,
uh,
so we can pretend they actually improved over time.
Yep.
Just kidding. We're gonna talk about the worst version of Muse, the guys who made a pretty hate machine and nothing else.
we're talking about the 9 inch now,
Just one.
just
One
one,
of
yeah,
them.
just one 9 inch now. I mean,
One specific name.
it's better than calling it 9 inch
I mean,
nails,
there
I
are
guess.
two Nine Inch Nails if you kind of think about it.
Yeah, they should have called
Oh, yeah,
themselves.
I guess so.
They should have called themselves 9 inch males.
No, they shouldn't.
Uh,
Pretty Hate Machine was released in 1989. What do you guys think about it?
um, yeah,
Oh, we start already. Okay.
it's a. Uh, well, we haven't got past the first question yet, and finger.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Okay. I feel like I've just been thrusted into in time warp or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So a bit of context. We started recording this video before, and then finger showed up, so we recorded it again.
Yeah. This is already felt like a fucking disaster, but we're gonna go on.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Listen. I've seen Nine Inch Nails live, and they had technical difficulties, and they still managed to carry on. He just smashed the guitar at
Oh,
the end
right.
of it. It's fine. Technical difficulties and Nine Inch Nails are two things that go hand in hand. We've all seen the Woodstock like show. Um, so the first question is, what is your guys' history with the 9 Inch Nails?
Um. So, um, one of these guys' albums is one of my favorite albums of all time. I will reveal that when the album comes. Well, it's not Pretty Hate Machine because we've already recorded this and I've already said this. Anyways, um, I started off with the album The Downward Spiral, and ever since then, I've felt myself getting in more into industrial music. And well, that band and this band was kind of the catalyst towards me getting into industrial music.
Well, this band is one of the most inventive and interesting bands I've ever seen. It is, they're very good, very good. I really like them
Yeah,
with their heavy industrial sound, their crazy synths, their music videos, which I recently got into, and holy fucking shit, they're just an incredibly interesting band. I am in love with them.
Yeah.
yeah. I started getting into Nine Inch Nails around 2008, when I was a big fan of mindless self-indulgence. Uh,
That's a
um,
random one.
but I learned that like I was sort of getting into more of this sort of electronic rock side of stuff, and I was like, oh, this I wanted to absorb as much as possible, and and Nine Inch Nails was a band that came up quite often, so I was like, I should probably check these out. Um, and I already knew like a couple of songs beforehand, like I knew the song "Closer" because of a random remix that was misattributed to Johnny Cash, and no, not Johnny Cash,
You
sorry.
mean Hurt?
No, so there was a random remix of the song "Closer" that was misattributed to Aphex Twin. I'm getting myself ahead
Oh,
of myself and saying I also knew the song "Hurt" because of Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash singing Closer.
Oh god. Oh,
I wanna
oh,
fuck you
fuck
like
you.
an animal.
That is so fuck. Yeah,
I
that'd be
mean,
cut.
we just asked Michael Gira to like cover Closer, and we got it. Um, But
Then you get She Loves Us.
yep, yeah, we do. So yeah, the first albums I picked up were Pretty Hate Machine and Ghosts, and yeah, I kind of fell in love with this band. I was like,
Very,
this is doing
very different albums.
very different albums, but I was like, this is doing stuff that's very interesting. And I was also like making music around the same time, or I was just starting to make music around the same time, and like listening to Ghost was kind of like, oh, this is the kind of shit I should be doing. And yeah, and it was kind of the like it was very inspirational for like the sort of music I wanted to do and what I was making around the same time. Um, Even though I didn't really know how to make that kind of music, it was like I really want to learn how to do it. Especially and Pre Hate Machine was also kind of an influence on that. So yeah, like Nine Inch Nails are like definitely one of my favorite bands, and I've kind of got back into them a lot more in sort of big escapes because I just think that good. They hold up still. They're like one of the very few bands from like my teenage years that I'm not really embarrassed to listen to anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of like my history with Nine Inch Nails.
Anyway, so shall we get on to album number one, or as Trent Reznor likes to call them, Halo number one,
Well, this will be
or
Halo
Halo
number.
number two.
This is Halo number two.
Yeah, down in it was Halo number one. In fact, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll
All
figure it out.
right. What do you guys think of 1989's Pretty Hate Machine?
Okay. uh,
I love
Never
this
had a
album.
okay. We've never had a specified order of who speaks, so this is going to be a pretty big fucking cacophony of people talking.
That's part of the fun of the podcast.
Yep, true.
I love this album. It's a really strong debut. Like as I said before to Finger earlier, I think that this like Trent Reznor is first and foremost a music nerd, and this album is definitely like doing that. This is to me, this is one of my favorite albums of the '80s, just because it sounds like the end all of what synth pop was going to be. Starts off by being very nice and light and very popish, and then by the end of it, you kind of get this, which is sort of has the frustration and anger, but it's not fully there yet. It's this is leading into something, and it will lead into something, a lot more abrasive, and in my opinion, a lot better. But this is the purest form of what Nine Inch Nails is, and I love it for that. It's a solid album, one of the best debuts from a band you're ever gonna get, or from an artist you're gonna get, and it's one of the best albums of the '80s. And for that, I give it a lot of credit. It's showcasing what music was like for that decade, and is kind of giving you a hint of what it's going to turn into for the later for the next decade.
All right.
Oh,
I
hang on, sorry,
personally really like it. I think it's a really unique album, as in, I never heard anything like it, especially like sound wise. Sound wise, Nine Inch Nails never did anything even similar to it stylistically.
Hmm.
This industrial rock, of course, they would keep going doing industrial rock, but this has some pop qualities to it, which I really appreciate, and had like a whole Terrible Lie, Sin. Like, this is a very mechanical album per
Yeah.
se. It feels very mechanical, and that's what I really appreciate about it. Because most industrial music just sounds abrasive and heavy, but it doesn't really touch on the really industrial part of it, which is exactly this mechanical part, which I just mentioned. It's and had like a whole, my personal. Let me just think, because I have like three favorites of this album. I don't know which one is my favorite, but like, yeah, had like a whole Terrible Lie and Sin are really good songs. I really like them. I like. Also, I gotta say, I really like the color scheme of the album cover.
Yeah.
The album cover is very pretty, especially the fact that it's sideways. I also like that
Oh yeah,
because
that
like
was cool.
that is cool as fuck.
Well, it's sideways. I
Anyways,
never even noticed.
one review said that like I remember reading a review that said that this was like frat boy music because like frat boys would play this in their car and bump to it with like their shirts off and drinking the cheap beer and getting a lot of girls and like what the fuck are you talking about?
This is nerd music. This is like music for nerds. This is like
I
I
wouldn't
was gonna
say that.
say,
Maybe music for like a really buff nerd.
okay.
yeah, which is going to be a complete opposite of the next album. And I say album.
Now, to be honest, I kind of see where that review is coming from because the thing about Nine Inch Nails is because of the nature of the group and their popularity at in the general zeitgeist. It wasn't hard to sort of find like the sort of like nerdy guys and the goths or the and like the jocks and the fat boys to sort of listen to Nine Inch Nails because it was radio friendly. It was radio friendly, quote unquote. Um, and it was like people. We don't realize just how popular the Nine Inch Nails was back in the day. Like they were big.
Yeah, the thing is, because of their popularity, one first impression might make you think that this is just heavy, abrasive pop music for like your average everyday Joe. But upon closer inspection and upon actually like paying attention to the lyrics and the concept of the albums, especially an album we will get later on to, they're really intricate and artistic.
Oh yeah,
That's the word I was looking for, artistic. Nine Inch Nails, this first album doesn't really get that artistic. Again, with pop sensibilities, it is easy to assume it is a more like pop-ish album, one of their more poppy albums. But
Yeah.
upon further albums, they get more and more invested in making a heavy ambience and like creating this dark, putrid like noise, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the direction this band went on to. This album is really good. This album's really good. I'm not saying otherwise, but it feels different than the
yeah.
other albums they have made.
It's a good
Um.
foundation for later works.
It is a good
Well.
foundation. That's a good thing you said.
Well, this album, it's. I mean, as I've previously stated in the previous recording, which will now never see the light of day. Anyways. Um. This starts off with two of Nine Inch Nails' biggest stalwarts, and even today's live shows. Well, as far as we know, because nowadays they're going with a fucking collaboration band of sorts. Had like a whole and terrible lie. Both are incredible songs, by the way. Both are like two of the best songs I've heard from this band. Not the best because we'll get on to some of the best songs in the later coming releases. I especially love the song "Something I Can Never Have" on this album. One
Yeah,
of
that's
the song
Yeah.
is incredible, in my opinion.
it's beautiful. It's a
Um,
beautiful kind of like slower moment. That's
was just slower, and I do love when Nine Inch Nails go into their slower moments, which you'll come to see on the next few releases. Apart from the next release we're going to be speaking about.
Hmm. All right. With that out of the way, what do you guys think of 1994's
Oh,
Downward
well,
Spiral?
okay, we're not doing Broken EP, right? Okay, well, and
We're not doing Broken EP. We're not doing Broken EP, unfortunately.
no. I think we
But
should because it's an important aspect to the Nine Inch Nails canon.
let's
I mean, it is, but like, we're doing albums here. If you guys want to mention it, like offhandedly, just say like 3 sentences about it. Go ahead.
Okay. Nine Inch Nails' Broken EP is a great mini album. Haha, I tricked you.
You can say more sentences. It's a
Um,
great mini album. I really enjoyed it. It's a great EP.
mm. it to me it kind of showcases where Nine Inch Nails are going to go to in the future. And like,
It's also my
Indeed.
favorite. It's also my favorite release by them, which
Ooh.
is the key word there is release, because it's not my favorite album by them, obviously, because some of it's an EP. But we will be discussing my favorite album very soon.
Will
uh,
be your favorite album by them? All
Yeah.
right.
And by the way, spoiler alert, it's not this.
Huh.
But this album is still fucking incredible. Probably one of the first albums that I ever listened to that you can consider a concept.
hmm.
Um, this album is just the epitome of, well, as the title suggests, a downward spiral in a person's life through the fucking through the themes of alienation, addiction, religions, violence, sex, power, depression, and just the complete loss of control of yourself. This album just is heavy as fuck to listen to, but I still enjoy every single listen.
This album is flawless. It's like if the Dark Side of the Moon had a baby with the Velvet Underground and Nico, and he was born in a latrine. It's disgusting. It's putrid. It's abrasive. That's a word I use a lot. I'm gonna use a lot. It's it's suicidal. But like, it's fucking every track in this album is insane. Mr. Self Destruct, Heresy, March of the Pigs, Ruiner, The Becoming, A Warm Place, Eraser, Reptile. But I want to mention two songs specifically. Closer, for being an insane manic ballad, almost synth poppy ballad, like industrial synth pop shit. And it's so catchy. It's so fun. It's so upbeat. But when you pay attention to the lyrics and the themes and how it connects to the album, it's rotten. It's about vice. It's about desire, carnal desire for nothing besides the pleasure. It is rotten. I adore it for that. It's a song that works both in the context of the album, not breaking up the pacing, not doing it works perfectly. It fits like a glove in the album. But it can also be listened outside of this context at like a party, for example, and it's still a very danceable, almost 7 minute long ballad that can be enjoyed by like basically anyone that enjoys, let's say, 80s Depeche Mode. It's crazy how they can do something like that while making industrial power noise. And of course, the closing track Hurt. It's beautiful. Everyone has said its praises for the song already, but it's gorgeous. It is depressive as a motherfucker. It's about reflecting on your life after you've shot yourself in the fucking head. It's crazy. I love it. I love it. It's about it basically wraps up everything in the album in a nice little bowl. The themes of drug abuse, sex, sex addiction. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Hurt is my favorite track off this album. This album's a damn 10. I don't care. It's the best, possibly the best industrial rock album ever made. One of the best albums I've ever heard. Go listen to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that guy and say that this is my favorite Nine Inch Nails album.
This is my favorite Nine Inch Nails album.
This is my second favorite.
And basically everything that Finger said, I agree with it. This sounds dirty. This sounds nasty. This was them using guitars as texture rather than like using it as kind of like the main instrument.
That's a good point. The synth is the lead instrument here.
Yeah, it's
This reminds me of another album. Godspeed You Black Emperors, Lift Your Skinny Fist Like Intends to Heaven.
I was gonna say this I was gonna say this album reminds me a little bit of Soundtracks for the Blind in the sense that
Exactly. No, that's a
it's
good point
it's
too.
creating like this foreboding atmosphere. Like whatever your opinion on what the narrative of the plot is, it doesn't really matter. What matters here is atmosphere and how each album or how each song kind of like correlates. It's like building up this massive atmosphere. It all kind of like comes down to her, which is, as you said, one of the most beautiful tracks of the album, and it's a song so good that Johnny Cash covered it, and it manages to make the song even better. Like both versions are so beautiful in my opinion, and you know it's not every day that I think that like a country
A cover
version.
made by a washed out country musician.
Look, Johnny Cash is amazing. Okay, let's not put this down to anything. You know, Johnny Cash is great, and
I mean, was great because like as every country musician, the older they got, the less great they got.
I don't know
And
that.
that's the point of his cover of Hurt. That's the
Yeah,
point of his cover of Hurt.
I don't know. I still think American Four was like I mean, it was the last album that was released during his lifetime. I think that's an amazing way to go out. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. But you know this. We're not talking about American for Johnny Cash. We're talking about Nine Inch Nails. Her, you know, we're talking about just this brutality
Yeah.
of noise. Um, I do think Trent was very influenced by Swans at this time, and I think that Michael Gira has been a bit upset because you know Trent Reznor never really kind of acknowledged those influences. You know, but it's very obvious that that
This
this
album
is.
came out in '94. Soundtracks for the Blind came out in '96.
I meant like
So
building up because like you know I mean Swans were also doing guitar as texture back in the 80s. Um,
Fair.
and I think that like you know Michael Gira was kind of like a bit you know I think it was more of a case of I don't mind you guys like you know taking us as influence, but you know, please mention us. You know, please we're on the verge of breakup. You know, um, but no, I do love this album. This I mean I can't really say much more than what Finger already said, but like this was just where Nine Inch Nails was so popular, and something that is just to me, I consider this part of like a spiritual trilogy of albums. Um, and this opening this first album, which is of course that downward spiral, it's going down into the depths of one's own psyche and hell. I think is a great way to start off like this new trilogy of albums. This is you know if Nine Inch Nails is Broken EP is where Nine Inch Nails truly begin. This is where I think they truly start to form, or at least form into the sort of like griminess of what they'll become.
right, and also to mention this fact that I've actually looked at a lot more into throughout these past couple of weeks that we've been planning on doing the Nine Inch Nails episode for. This album was recorded in 150 Cielo Drive, I believe that's pronounced, aka the murder house of Sharon Tate by the Manson family, and in a home studio which was dubbed Le Pig, which becomes a very big theme during this, especially during the songs Peggy and March of the Pigs.
Yeah, so I think going on to that story, I think he bought this house because it was cheap and he didn't realize it was the house that Sharon Tate was murdered in. At least that's from what I can gather. He has since said that like he regrets using that as like a marketing form or like a selling point for the album because he thinks it's like done in bad taste, which I agree. You know, it's kind of bad taste to sort of market your album around like the real life death of somebody, but you know, it's more of a case of I think he bought this house and then realized why it was so cheap.
Yeah, I suppose he has more. I suppose he has more taste of marketing something around someone's death is Wiz Khalifa and Charlie Puth, who marketed an entire song over Paul Walker's death
And it wasn't even.
once.
And what makes it worse, it wasn't even a very good song. I mean, if someone like if I died and someone like made a song like that about me, I'd come back to life just to kill him.
But we're not talking about "See You Again" by Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa. We're talking about "Downward Spiral" by Nine Inch Nails. I don't know why. I do not know why the fuck I went on to that.
I don't know why,
But this is
but at least it set up a good joke for me.
yeah, fair enough. But and this was also the first ever studio album released on Trent Reznor's record label, Nothing Records.
Yep. Which
Um,
is, yeah, and
which is now defunct.
around this time he was also like a manager and producer for Marilyn Manson, and he was also he did a number of films as well. So yeah, he was quite big around this time.
Yeah. And also, a couple years later, he would also appear in the music video of David Bowie's "I'm Afraid of Americans."
Which he also produced the song.
Yeah, he did actually. I should realize that. So yeah, he'd also get to work with David Bowie, who is one of the most legendary musicians of all time. And if we ever did an episode on him, it would last for like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's that's going to be a bit of an undertaking, to be honest. Like, I don't know if I could ever really do that.
I don't think I could do that either, actually. But we'll
Um,
see.
Anyway, moving on to 1999's
Mm.
The Fragile.
I'm
What
just
do
gonna.
you
I'm just.
guys?
Sorry.
No, wait. Before the fragile, what do you guys think of Further Down the Spiral?
Oh God's sake! Right, this one.
1995's.
Oh, you mean the remake? The remix album? Which version? Are we talking about
Yeah, the remix album.
Are we talking about
There's two versions.
Are we talking about the UK version or the US version?
Oh, for fuck's sake! I haven't even heard any of
The
them.
US version. Let's do the US version first.
Okay, I've not heard this remix album in a while, and I have both of them, by the way. Um, yeah, from what I remember, it was pretty good.
I've never heard these, so I'm shutting the fuck
I,
up.
I do like the sort of like era of Nine Inch Nails remixes where they lean more into like the sort of dark and industrial side of things. It really does kind of add more to the atmosphere of the album. I think these remixes are more atmospheric than they are like just straight up music. I think Nine Inch Nails around this time was doing had like very experimental and strange remixes, which
Very noisy.
very noisy.
This is how I describe this.
Like the fixed EP, a lot of it I think came from that, where it was just purely industrial. It was Nine Inch Nails, but with nothing but darkness, and there was no light. And then you get a beautiful version of Herb, which is just performed live. So yeah, what did we think of 1999's The Fragile?
Okay. I'm gonna come out and just say this immediately. This is the album I was talking about. This is one of my favorite albums of all time, and my favorite album by Nine Inch Nails.
That is fair.
Oh, that is fair.
This is just. I don't listen to this often, but whenever I do, the experience of listening to this is incredible. Like how they managed to turn a 1 hour and 43 minute long album into this cohesive project is incredible, especially songs like God, I can name a lot of them. The Day the World Went Away, The Wretched, We're in This Together, fucking Lemaire, Starfuckers Incorporated, Just Like You Imagined. I could name so much. This album is incredible, and the amount of people that this album contains is just fucking crazy. Like this contains credits from Adrian Bellew, Steve Albini, Dr. Dre, Bill Riflin, who we spoke about earlier on. In fact, that was the first recording. Fuck. And there was just shit tons of Bob Ezrin, who was, I believe, the director for The Wall, if I'm correct, or one of at least part of the recording of The Wall. I can't remember the exact.
I don't know either.
But no, this album is amazing in my opinion. I'm gonna let someone else talk.
Yeah, I think that this album is my second favorite Nine Inch Nails album. It's it's definitely not quite got the same sort of abrasive atmosphere as the Downward Spiral, and I think this is definitely on the more personal end of Trent Reznor's music. This was created around the time when he was going through a bit of a drug addiction, and it really kind of goes to show. I think to me this is the second part of the Downward Spiral, where it is just if the Downward Spiral was about going into that sort of like world, this is in the midst of it. This is trying to come out of it. This is, a lot of the songs sort of deal with the sort of idea where things are truly fucked and there's like no way out of here. Um, and to me, it's sort of bringing back those sort of like electronic elements from pre Hate Machine, but now it's more it's 10 years later. It's more refined. It's more in tune with what I think Trent Reznor will do later on. There's a lot more sort of ambient instrumental stuff here, which is again more of what Trent Reznor will start to do later on. I think finishing off the first part of your album with The Great Below it's one of the most beautiful tracks that Nine Inch Nails have ever done. This is definitely kind of taken a bit more of a breather. Yeah, no, I truly enjoy this album, and I think that I personally really enjoy the fact that the CD and vinyl versions are slightly different because while they have the same track listing, there's a few songs added into the vinyl, but they're adding it organically, so they sort of like transition quite well. Like the transitions in the CD and vinyl are completely different, so it kind of you get a bit of a different experience to it. I think. Yeah, I don't know how he managed to make a nearly 2 hour long album sound this cohesive with 23 songs on
I'm gonna say a hot take here,
it.
and Soundtracks for the Blind doesn't feel as cohesive as this. Definitely a better album, but it doesn't feel as cohesive as this.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I can see that. I think with soundtracks for the blind, the whole point of it is that it does sound a bit broken. It does sound a bit it sounds very kind of like just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. It sounds very kind of like deranged. I think that's the point of soundtracks for the blind, but I don't really think it was the point for this album.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But no, this is one of the rare cases where I say like where I'm gonna say like having like a bigger budget and a bigger fucking like range of fucking a bigger range of musicians working with this works fucking perfectly.
Hmm.
Whi- which does not usually happen. And by the way, I want to give a massive fuck you to Brent de Crescenzo, aka the Pitchfork reviewer, who reviewed this album in 1999 and gave it a 2 out of 10, and basically made the entire review shit talking Trent Reznor. So yeah, big fuck you to him.
I mean, that is just pitchfork, really.
Yeah, this guy basically just did reviews of everything, just shitting on it, apart from Kid A.
Was it the review where he talks basically about how amazing it is?
Amazing it is, and he talks about fucking shooting stars and shit.
Uh,
I'd never seen a shooting star before fucking 20,000 years of fucking constellations or some shit. I can't remember the whole thing. But no, genuinely, this album's amazing, and I Whatever. Are we gonna go into the next album? Oh fuck, the next album's not one I've heard.
Okay, this album's one of my favorites. I don't have much to say about it that you guys didn't say. Somewhat Damaged, The Day the World Went Away, The Wretched, We're in This Together, The Fragile, Just Like You Imagine, L'Amour, The Great Below, Into the Void, and The Big Come Down. All are great, amazing tracks. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite albums ever. It's a 10 out of 10. Now, what do you guys think of the year 2000's Things Falling Apart?
We're also doing remix. This is another remix album, okay?
Oh,
Right, I've not heard
okay.
this one, so
We don't do the broken EP, but we do the remix albums.
Because they're albums, technically. They release them as albums, so like we gotta talk about them.
My opinion is I think that this is fine. It's not as good as the sort of Further Down the Spiral remixes. I think it's fun. I do like the cover of Metal, and I do like 10 Miles High. Even though they're not remixes, although 10 Miles High is considered a bit of a remix, I don't know how that works. But yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's a fine album.
just get me. I haven't heard that.
How about you, Finger? What's your opinion on Further Down the Spiral? Not Further Down the Spiral, Things Falling Apart.
Dude, honestly, it's it's almost bad. It's pretty close to being bad, but I don't think it's bad.
Holy.
I personally never liked remix albums, uh, almost ever. But this one is it's okay. It's okay. It's almost
I thought
bad.
you said, I
Like
thought
it's
I thought you said
okay.
this with Ethel Kane.
All right, what do you guys think of 2002 Still?
And I will be off this one too because I have also not fucking listened to it.
I really enjoy this. It's there's not much you could really say because it's basically piano variations or like more toned down variations of previous songs, along with some of the most beautiful ambient tracks that Nine Inch Nails will ever do, and one of the best songs that they've ever done. Like this is a really good, like, solid release. It's one of the best Nine Inch Nails releases, but it's yeah, it's kind of like a side thing, really. It's what's the song I like? That was it, and All That Could Have Been. All That Could Have Been is a beautiful song.
Off of this album, I really like Still. I really like Still. I personally really do. The Fragile, the covers of The Fragile, The Becoming, The Day the World Went Away, and All That Could Have Been, and Leaving Hope are really great. I really enjoyed them. This is one of the most like depressive Nine Inch Nails albums,
Yeah, this is
especially because of the fact that it's just basically just keyboard.
it's very toned down. I would recommend F sharp A sharp Infinity. You should listen to this.
Yeah.
It-
No, and by the way, thanks for saying F sharp, A sharp, Infinity. I don't think people pronounce is going to be able to pronounce the frickin' the new name I have.
Your Affinity. I was like, I'm just gonna do it that way.
It is your Infinity, by the way, but
Fair enough.
anyways, no, that's not a point. I need to listen to that, but I haven't because I was told that this wouldn't be in here. But if plans change, it's fine. I'll listen to
All
it though.
right, what do you guys think of 2005's With Teeth.
Finally, I'm back for one. This album, Ding Dong, Trent Reznor. Queens of the Stone Age called "They Want Dave Grohl Back."
um,
This album features my fucking favorite Nine Inch Nails song, by the way. The song "Every Day" is exactly the same.
I thought I was gonna say it was with teeth.
Hmm.
With teeth.
Genuinely, this album is also really good. It's one of the more popular releases, I say, but there is crazy moments on this, especially the song. I believe it's "You Know What You Are." Is one of the craziest songs I've heard since starting to listen to the wider discography of this band. Because as I mentioned in the first recording, since it hit 2026, I'd only listened to The Downward Spiral and The Fragile by this band. So I had a lot to listen to during the course of 2026, and well, I've completed the entire discography apart from a couple of the remix albums, and still.
So I've got a very sad story to tell you about this album. I recently bought the vinyl and opened it up. It was still sealed up. Opened it up and I think there must have been like a manufacturing error because they gave me two the same disc. So I got like two side A's and two side B's, but no side C or side D.
Damn.
But no, my opinion is I think this is definitely like the sort of more rockiest album. This is this is the third of my own unofficial spiritual trilogy of Nine Inch Nails records, where it's more of a reflective point. He's come out of this hole. He's come out of this shit, and he's now sort of like reflecting back on it. So the songs sort of like they're a bit, they still feel a bit more down, but I think there's a much happier sense of it feels much happier in the background. Like it's definitely more of a one where I've achieved the victory of what I was looking for. I think this is yeah. I mean I do like the song. Every day is exactly the same. I like Only, Love Is Not Enough. I think Right Where It Belongs is one of my favorite Nine Inch Nails closers. Um, Obviously behind Hurt. But I think no, this album is good. This is a good album. Finger.
Where's the finger?
Oh, my opinion on this album is that it's good. I like it. It's not really good like Still was, like Pretty Hate Machine, but it's good. The Hand That Feeds is a really good song.
Yeah, that's another song.
Yeah,
I was gonna
it just
mention that.
has this more like angry vibe to it, and I appreciate that. It's a pretty good. It's a good album. It's a good album.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's not as good, I think, as the last two releases, but I think it's an album that enjoy the fact that it's not as good as those two last two releases. I'm like, yeah, let's bring it back a little bit. Let's just make an album that just rocks out, you know.
Yeah. Definitely see that.
Okay, should we move on to 2007's Year Zero?
Oh God, this is going to be where the disagreement starts. This, while it's still a stellar release, this is my least favorite of their albums.
Oh really?
Yeah, this is my least favorite of their albums. It's not bad. That I will say this right now. It is not bad. There is great moments on this album, such as Survivalism, The Good Soldier, another version of The Truth. There is a Zero Sum, The Ender. There is good moments, but at some points I just felt myself zoning out of this release, and I just didn't really connect to it much as the other releases. It's not. This is, as I say, this is not me calling it bad. It's just saying that it doesn't connect with me as much as the other Nine Inch Nails releases.
I am going to agree with one thing you said, and this is my least favorite Nine Inch Nails album too.
Oh, fair
Um,
enough.
Honestly, I fairly like this album. It's fair. It's good. Again, it's just good.
yeah,
Same thing I thought of with Teeth. I have to say for here, except I like with Teeth a little better. But they're pretty much on the same level for me. It's good. This one doesn't have any tracks that really stand out. It's pretty long, but it isn't bad at all. Fair from bad, actually. It's
Yeah,
just
I think
it's
that was
okay.
my problem with it.
The
I,
fact that it's just kind of okay.
No, I think that was my problem with it. It was kind of pretty long. By the way, Final, just to make this clear, I don't think we're doing the Ghost releases as far as I know.
Well, we can just skim through them. What do you guys think
I, I,
of
was,
Year Zero Remixed?
I haven't finished talking about Year Zero
About
yet.
again.
I was gonna say that like I really enjoyed the concept around this album more than I liked the actual album. I think
Oh yeah, the more political
yeah
style of it.
I think this
That's enough of the political sound.
yeah like to right, if you ask me, Nine Inch Nails kind of finishes with Teeth. I think that is where Nine Inch Nails meets the like natural conclusion, and I think Year Zero is a nice addition to that. It's like an expansion or DLC to like the Nine Inch Nails catalog. It's
Hmm.
it's essentially a side thing which doesn't really have much in the way thematically of previous albums, even though Downward Spiral and the Fagio did, well, even though previous albums did kind of like touch upon politics, it never really delves that much into politics. I wouldn't say like the previous um like albums were political in any way. This one is very political and very politically charged. And it makes sense. It came out of post 9/11 America. A lot of things were starting to feel a bit more on edge
Weird.
and weird. Yeah. So you had this moment where kind of like a lot of groups were kind of like sort of responding to that, and I think Night Inch Nails did it in a pretty good way. But I would also say that it's not. It is my least favorite Nine Inch Nails album, just because I'm like I like the songs, I like it all well enough, but at the same time, it I think they've made better albums.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees on that. That this they just made better albums than this.
Yeah,
This compared to the other albums, this ain't it.
it's. I'm not saying it's a
That's
bad
saying
album or even it's a mediocre album. I think it's actually a very good album. I just think it's not on like the same level as like the Downward Spiral or the
call it the
Fragile.
curse version of the Strokes because this ain't it.
Yeah, it's no further down the spiral. That's for damn sure.
Evidently, this isn't Year Zero remixed, which we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about next.
Ah,
And I'm out of this one because I've not heard it.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've not heard this one either.
I
Oh,
have,
fucking
and
awful.
it's bad.
Okay, can we move on?
Again, I don't like remix albums. I
Do
don't like remix albums. I like how this feels more apocalyptic.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fucking Bloghouse ass production, it just it's not it. It ain't that. Trent Reznor, what are you doing here? No, it
The,
just doesn't work. It's
the
bad.
only
I don't like it.
the only song I think I've actually heard from it is Gunshots by Computer.
Hmm. And what do you think of it?
Um, well, I've not heard the rest of the album, so
That is fair. Now, what do you guys think of 2008's Ghosts 1 to 4? Because we aren't talking about every one of them individually because we're not insane people.
um,
And I'm out of this one too because I have not heard this.
I I've not heard this one in a while. I do remember like enjoying thoroughly a lot of like the like some of the tracks from it, especially the one that would eventually become Old Country Road. I think it is by Little Nas X.
Huh.
Yeah, like Little Nas X, his biggest hit samples one of the tracks from this album. So therefore, and because technically Trent Reznor gets a songwriting credit, he has won 2 country awards that he has not had to like perform in.
That is something.
So Trent Reznor, like the man who has won an Oscar and country awards. No, this is a really good ambient record. Like that's it. That's all I can really say about it. This is a solid ambient album. It's kind of like Trent Reznor going, "Hey, you remember those like those ambient pieces you liked off the Fragile? Here's an album full of it, and it sounds good."
Honestly, this album, it's alright. It's alright. It's an alright ambient record. Ambient is a very hard thing to do because it's gotta be good when you pay attention and be good as a background piece. Brian Eno said this shit.
Mm.
And the thing is, this album just loses me all the time, dude. I can't focus on it. It's just, but it isn't bad. When I'm paying attention, it's a solid ambient record. But I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. It's all right. It's all right.
To be fair, we've kind of broken one of your rules here because even though it's quote unquote an album, it's also quote unquote just 4 EPs just put together.
Hmm.
Well, we've already talked about it, and I like the fuck we're saying we because I haven't talked about it because I've not fucking hit listen to it.
Okay, what have you guys thought of 2008's The Slip?
I'm back for this one. I think I'm back for the rest of them, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll
Whereas
be out for the last
until
one.
we get to Ghosts like 5 and 6.
Oh fuck those ones! Oh, damn. Right. Anyways, The Slip. This album is fairly fu- This album was look. This will be also a differing opinion. This album was a return to form after Year Zero. I really like some of the stuff off this album. I'm a massive fan of like drone music, so I especially love the song Corona Radiata, which is a 7-minute instrumental song.
Hmm.
Um, the songs like Letting You, Discipline, Echoplex, 1 Million are all really good in my opinion. In fact, when I was listening to this album today, I said to one of my friends in this one server, shout out Grykin by the way, um, that this song is The Hand That Feeds Part 2.
Hmm.
This, yeah, getting onto that, I enjoy this album a lot. It is essentially though this with teeth B sides. Um, uh,
Okay, so this might be a hot take, but without counting remix albums and without counting like film scores and game scores and archival releases, this is my least favorite Nine Inch Nails record. Like the alternative rock sensibilities on it, just this isn't bad. This is all right. This is an all right album. Again, Nine Inch Nails have never made a bad. They've made one bad album, which was Year Zero remixed, which doesn't really fucking count. But this album is just, I don't know. I think the soul is missing here. Something's missing from this, and I think it's maybe the abrasiveness. I don't know. It just feels more. It's dark. It's ominous, but it doesn't feel as, you know, soulful as stuff like the Downward Spiral and the Fragile. So I personally don't dig this one as much as the others, and I think that's mostly because it's more of an alternative rock album. It is still very much an industrial rock album, but I don't know, it's just more. It tries to be more like stuff like OK Computer, which is fair. Everyone wants to be OK Computer, but
I
this isn't it.
I I like this album a lot. I think for a while it was the last Nine Inch Nails album, and we thought this was going to be it. Um, I came into the Nine Inch Nails story around this time. Um, I it's you could kind of tell what kind of album this is because it 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 had a very similar release thing to In Rainbows, where Trent Reznor basically released this album for free on his website, and you can download it for free. And the physical CD was limited to I think 250,000 copies. And in fact, there's actually a website that tracks down every uh, or like sort of what do you call it? Yeah, tracks every sort of release of this or sort of every copy of this album. In fact, my copy is even on this website because I put it there. But no, I like this album enough. I think it's good. I think it's got an album on it that I really like, which a song on it which I really like, which is Heads Down. Um, I kind of wish more of the songs on it sound like Head Down, but I think that this is better than Year Zero in my opinion, and I think it's my second least favorite Nine Inch Nails album. Let's put it that way.
All
I think
right.
this is my third least favourite, but we're about to go into my second least favourite.
Oh, really?
What do you guys think of 2013's Hesitation Marks?
As briefly mentioned, this is my second least favorite release by them, but this is not that bad. I believe it suffers the same exact problem as Year Zero, but in fact there is better songs than this that I get zoned out to. I especially love the songs "Copy of a," "Came Back Haunted," "Various Methods of Escape." Fucking "All Time Low" is a decent song, I suppose. "Starlight" was pretty good. Yeah, this is definitely where I start to be a little less interested.
This is a
I
band that,
suppose.
after their comeback into the 2010s, didn't uh, become insanely good. This isn't like Swans. I personally think this album is all right. It's way more electronic than the other albums. And yeah, it's way less angry. It sounds like a way less awesome Pretty Hate Machine. And it's just an alright album, in my opinion.
I think that this was a. So I said before that I think the Nine Inch Nails story ends with Teeth, and I think that this is basically the return of the Nine Inch Nails story. It's a continuation, in my opinion, of With Teeth. We had Year Zero and In the Slip, which were these kind of like weird side things. And Trent Reznor came back, and I remember when this album was announced, it came back with Came Back Haunted, which was had a music video directed by David Lynch of all people. Um, and I just remember
I
sitting there
mean,
like on like the iPad back in like the day, just watching this, and I was thinking, nah, man, I'm looking forward to this album. I like this album. I like this album a lot. I think it is a return to form. I think it's I don't think it's as good as like those really good Nine Inch Nails releases beforehand, but I would say that this is certainly up there. I think it might be my third favorite Nine Inch. Actually, no, this is my third favorite Nine Inch Nails album. Just fuck it, let's go there. This is my third favorite.
Your third favorite
interesting.
Nine Inch Nails album?
Yep.
That's an interesting take.
I think that this album just sounds great. It's got good production. I think it's a nice return back to form. I think there's definitely a lot more to like than there is to dislike about it. It's a cool sounding album. I don't really have many issues with it.
I'll be real. I like this album. It's the first Nine Inch Nails album that I actually like. I don't really like it, but I like it. It's fun to see a band doing more experimental stuff, and this is exactly what they're doing here. Experimental, noisy, still industrial, which is Nine Inch Nails, you know, big thing. But yeah, it's like a more experimental version. Even the cover, it's way more experimental than the previous ones. I personally like this album. It's it's good. It's good.
Yeah, there's not much to say on that album. It was
Which is crazy considering this is a more experimental direction for a band that hasn't done something this noisy before.
uh, and so yeah, this we got this album and we thought we were gonna get like loads more new Nine Inch Nails stuff. And then we got a trilogy of EPs instead. Should we talk about the trilogy of EPs as one big giant album?
I mean, do you guys
We
want to
could.
do like the free sentence thing for it?
No, I actually want to talk about these as albums. These are more important than Ghosts or the bloody remix albums.
That is true.
Dude, if we
But
do EPs, we gotta talk about Fixed.
I can talk about Fixed.
fuck.
What is your opinion on Fixed?
I
Fuck.
really enjoy Fixed. I know you don't like remix albums, but I think Fixed is a great remix EP.
I've never listened to it, as you can tell.
Well, like,
I've listened to one of this band's remixes albums, and I don't even think we're going
what
to
do you
get into
mean
that in this episode.
trilogy of EPs? I don't know what you're talking about.
Not the
Okay.
actual events. Okay, well, I'll let
You mean
Okay.
Recoiled, not the actual events and Add Violence?
No, I'm talking about not the actual events, Add Violence, and the EP that was marketed as an album. Bad Witch. I think it is.
Oh, Bad Witch is the third of the trilogy.
Yes.
You can talk about. Okay, why not talk about the two EPs then? Sure. Pretend they're this album. Why not? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
yep, sure.
What do we-
Okay, so it looks like we're going into 2016's not the actual events then.
Yeah. I like this EP a lot. This EP is really good. It was kind of insane.
I don't know
listening-
what the fuck to say about this, honestly.
It was kind of this EP reminds me a lot of the Downward Spiral.
Huh.
I don't know what the fuck to think about this, honestly. There's good stuff on this. I really like the song "She's Gone Away." That song's a really good one. I especially love the song "Burning Bright" or in brackets "Field on Fire."
She's Gone Away
it's-
was like also
okay.
made for Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, because the return happened this year.
Yeah.
All
Right
right.
then.
What do you guys think of Ghost 6 Locusts?
Oh. Fuck. Yep,
Wait.
bad lit.
Okay. First of all, we're not. First of all, where did you jump to? Like,
They just jumped 2 years.
No, we're gonna talk about 5 after we talk about 6 because they both came out in the same day.
Okay. No. We still need to talk about Add Violence and Bad Witch.
You just talked about Bad Witch.
I thought we were talking about
We
not the actual event.
talked about not the actual events.
You talked about not the actual events after you talked about the Bad Witch, and now you can talk about
Wait, what? Wait,
ad
what?
violence. You can talk
What
about
is
ad
going
violence.
on?
Wait, when did we talk about Bad Witch?
When we talked about Bad Witch, we just talked about Bad Witch. Did you guys fucking forget?
What the fuck? I am confused. I
I
think Bad Witch is really good, by the way, but
yeah,
there you
yeah, yeah.
go.
But Bad Witch is great. Bad Witch is great. It's nice to see him go in like a jazzy experimental direction.
God Break Down the Door sounds like Scott Walker.
Yeah. When you were talking about okay, I think I know when you were talking about Bad Witch. When you were talking about Bad Witch, I thought you was legit talking about hesitation marks still. So it was kind of I was a bit confused. It went from oh this album is kind of is kind of good. It's kind of okay to like then talk about Bad Witch and was saying this album's good. It's good for experimentation. I didn't realize you were talking about Bad Witch.
Oh,
That's all good. Ad Violence is also pretty good, by the way. Although I didn't really
all
like
right.
the
What do you guys
video.
think of Ad Violence and Bad Witch?
I really enjoyed this era of Nine Inch Nails. It's a shame it wasn't put into like one big sorry, it's a shame it wasn't like put into like one bigger album because I think it would have worked. But I like this era a lot. I think it's a fun era of music. And I was hoping we would get a lot more Nine Inch Nails after this.
All right.
Well,
Is that
looks
it?
like
Are we done with the trilogy?
Yes,
Ad
we're done with
Violence is
the
also really
trilogy.
good, but yeah, but we'll
Because I've
kill.
only listened to Bad Witch.
Oh,
Awkward. Anyways,
What do you guys think of Ghost Six? Ghost Six Locusts.
never listen to it.
yeah, I've only listened to like little bits of this. It's very look. Here's the thing about Ghost 5 and 6. Okay, they are essentially rejects from their music, from like their film scores. They're not like it's not like Ghost 1 to 4, which were like actual kind of like made for the
For the album.
made for the album or at least for the separate EPs. These were essentially let's make something for that to put together for a COVID and B just to like get all this music out there. Now bear in mind, I'm sure it's solid. I'm pretty sure this is really, really good stuff. It's just at this moment it was okay, I could have done with either these albums being shorter or just make one album of Ghosts 5. Um Putting two out on the same day was like it was hard work, you know.
All right. My opinion on Ghost 6 is that it is darker than Ghost 1 to 4. It is a dark ambient album.
Oh yeah, this was definitely it was definitely dark. I think that was. I mean, I will listen to it at some point. I just wish that there was. I at least wish there was a physical copy of these albums.
Whoops. Well, it's atmospheric. It sounds kind of apocalyptic, which is good. I like apocalyptic stuff. Yeah, this album's it's good. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. What do you guys think of 2020's Ghost 5 together?
See, my answer to go six locusts.
This is a more ethereal sounding version of Locusts, and I like it a bit better than Locusts. It is calm, soothing, a bit melancholic. Yeah, it's better than Locusts. I like it better than Locusts. It's a it's a good ambient record. I like it.
Fair
Now,
enough.
what do you guys think of 2020's Quake?
Okay, so first of all, this is not 2020's Quake. This is 1998's Quake. It was just re-released on
This
vinyl
was
in 2020.
recorded in like bitch ass 19s whatevers,
Okay,
but it was released officially in 2020.
commercially unavailable until its release on vinyl. It was still available if you had the game back in the 1996 on disc, as it
Yeah.
was like another track. These were like another tracks on the disc. So
Fine. 1996 Quake. What do you guys think of 1996's Quake?
I like this a lot. Like I like Quake as a game, and I like the soundtrack a lot more. Like I think I just love Knives Now so much that I like the soundtrack stuff.
I also like it. It is good. I like it. It's dark ambient. It's industrial, which has been a while since we've seen industrial Nine Inch Nails. It's cold. It's dark. I like it. It is a good soundtrack.
I just like the song title. It is raped.
What song title? It is raped. Good. Yeah. What do you guys think of 2025's Tron Ares?
So
Finger,
I don't have much
you
to
go
say about
first.
this one.
I like this. I think at this point we were just clamoring for new Nine Inch Nails material. And people I think were more interested in the fact that like we were going to get a new Nine Inch Nails like soundtrack under the Nine Inch Nails name than they were over a new Tron Ares film. I can't believe that Disney actually poured like millions of dollars into making a long ass music video for the new Nine Inch Nails album. Um, but it's like it's a soundtrack album. It's still good. I don't think it's as good as Quake, but I think it's it's all right. Like the new songs in it, I think are pretty solid. It just makes me wish we could hear more.
I mean, shout out to the song. What is? Oh my god, have I just forgot the name of it?
As alive as you need me to be.
That's the one. That song is. That song's one of the things that got me into like fucking like finally going into the full of Nine Inch Nails. I finally realized like after hearing this, I need to hear the rest of this to know exactly how good this song is. I actually really like that song, so yeah.
Honestly, I personally think it's all right. Like again, exactly what you guys said. Who gives a shit about the movie Tron Ares that has Jared Leto?
Fuck Jared
I'm in
Leto.
it. I'm in it for fucking Nine Inch Nails new album. And as a Nine Inch Nails album, it is an all right Nine Inch Nails album. It it is worse than The Slip, but it's still all right.
Right.
Yeah, there's not
So
much to say. It's electro, industrial, dark ambient. It mixes the more ambient stuff we've seen lately with the electro industrial sound of, for example, what was the name of the fucking album? Hesitation Marks. Yeah, it's good. What do you guys think of Tron Ares Divergence from
the
2026?
fucking remix of that now.
Yeah,
There is a remix of the Tron Ares soundtrack.
I
I've heard a little bit of it. I have it pre-ordered on vinyl, and for what I've heard, it sounds just as good, if not even better, than the Tron Ares soundtrack. Not much to really say. It's a remix to a soundtrack that I honestly think sounds all right.
Crazy take, and you're gonna call me insane. This remix album is better than Ghost 1 to 4.
Oh god, I've dropped my monocle.
Yeah, this album is
Monaco.
it's not crazy. It's still just an okay album. But like it's a good album. It's a very nocturnal, futuristic sounding. And futuristic is a word I can't say about most Nine Inch Nails releases, but this sounds very futuristic. It's a new sound for them. It's definitely a new sound for them, and for that, it is really good. But I don't especially like it. It's just an okay album, but it's it's an okay album that I really appreciate for existing.
Fair enough.
All right. Now we talk about their most recent album. What do you guys think of Nine Inch Noise?
Okay, I've heard a little bit of this. Um, I've heard a few songs, and I'll be honest with you, I think that these songs work much better in the context of when I saw them live. When I saw this band live and they performed these like some of these remixes, it was great. I appreciate the fact that we have this Night Noise remix. I think it sounds good. I like some of these remixes, but it's not as good as when you're watching it on stage.
Honestly, this is gonna be a bit of a letdown, but I'm gonna have to let this album sit for a little while.
I mean,
Like
it
it still
just came
hasn't
out
I may
fully.
be the
2 days
same.
ago.
It literally came out 2 days ago. I am still absorbing it.
Yeah, I think
But
that's the same thing, honestly.
but from a first listen, I like this album. I like it. Like it's more techno than anything. It's more techno influenced, which is crazy for Nine Inch Nails to go for this more. But like, it's also like way more danceful. It's one of the most danceable Nine Inch Nails records. Probably the most danceable Nine Inch Nails record, if you don't count a few cuts off of the Downward Spiral. It's energetic, it's bassy, it's bouncy, it's yeah, it's one of the most fun Nine Inch Nails albums. I like it. I don't really like it yet because I don't know. I gotta let this one sit for a while. But from a first listen, I like it.
Fair enough. And that is the entire discography of Nine Inch Nails. We spoke very briefly on the Broken EP. We have much bigger thoughts on the Broken EP. I'll tell you that. But it was no this yeah. So the final question is, where do you think Nine Inch Nails will go from here?
I don't know if they're ever going to release another proper studio album, honestly. Maybe they will, but I think they're a lot more comfortable right now doing the stuff with Boys Noise, aka Nine Inch Noise. And if they're comfortable doing that right now, then, well, all power to them. Who the fuck am I to judge Trent Reznor? I
Well,
mean, this guy is close enough to winning the fucking EGOT, so yeah.
well, in response to that, as of the recording of this episode, which is on the 19th of April, 2026, Trent Reznor has announced that he's working on new Nine Inch Nails material
Oh, for
tomorrow.
fuck's sake, like, I just did not know this.
he announced that he's working on he's gonna go back into the studio, whatever, or at least like start writing out some new Nine Inch Nails stuff. Whether that's in the form of another collaboration with Boys Noise, whether it's gonna be another EP, or whether it's gonna be something completely different. I don't know if it's gonna be a full-length album, but he has announced that there's gonna be new Nine Inch Nails stuff coming through. I personally think that Nine Inch Nails is Trent Reznor's sort of like side project. I think he does the music, he does the soundtracks to basically make his money, and then when he's like, you know what, I want to tour, he will just go up and tour. He's just finished his latest Pin It Back tour. Um, I'm personally hoping we get a live album from that tour. I think that would be pretty solid. It was a good tour. I went to see it in London last year. And yeah, they are a really great band to see live. But yeah, no, I think I personally think we might end up seeing more Nine Inch Nails stuff.
I did not know this prior to filming, as you can tell. So, that you just see my live reaction to the fact that Nine Inch Nails could be finally releasing another like proper album and not just
Honestly,
remix.
as much as none of their um recent albums, more recent output has wowed me as the late '90s stuff. I am fairly excited for this new album, for this new batch of songs, which will probably be because like what is stopping them from doing a return to form? What is stopping them from doing the grimy, disgusting, muddy, creamy sewer water, shitty, shitty fucking atmospheres? The incredible synths, the awesome sound. Yeah, what is stopping them from coming back to that? I am fairly excited for this new album. I don't want them to keep doing what they're doing because what they're doing is not as good as the stuff they were doing before. And I want the stuff. I want the old stuff because I'm a big baby.
So I am going to possibly respond to you on that question of what is stopping them. And I think the simple answer is Trent's not that man anymore. I don't think he's kind of got
Yeah,
it in
he's
him to like
48. He doesn't give a shit about anything.
yeah,
He's too busy being rich
like
and making soundtrack for the Disney movie.
soundtrack for the Disney movie. What is this Nine Inch now? What is this Swan's spiritual successor? Um, but no, I don't think he's got it in him to make another Downward Spiral. Like you said, I think he's older. I think he's no longer on like the addictions he was back in the mid-90s. I think his priorities are
Oh, it's so
elsewhere.
good.
I think nowadays if it's going to be New Nine Inch Nails, I think it's going to be more electronic based. I think he's always been interested in sort of electronica. I think for him, he wouldn't go back to the studio to make another Nine Inch Nails project if he didn't think that he was gonna make something good. Like Nine Inch Nails to me seems to be his project that like he will go back to every now and then, just to sort of like create something that's possibly even more aggressive, just to do the stuff he can't do for film soundtracks, the stuff that he wants to do personally, and then he will come out the studio, release the album, market it, maybe even do like a smaller tour or whatever. I don't know if he's ever going to tour again. And then he would go back and then go back into the studio and make more soundtracks. That seems to be his bread and butter these days. And as he said about Marilyn Manson, nowadays Trent Reznor's wearing suits and Marilyn Manson's still wearing the same makeup he was back, in the mid 90s. Um,
Yeah, God, Marilyn Manson's such a fucking. I, I have stuff to say about Marilyn Manson, dog.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we all do, but like, there's no denying that, like, Marilyn Manson was at his best when he was being produced by Trent Reznor.
No, true, true. God,
Hmm.
what an embarrassing guy. Okay, the conclusion is do heroin because it makes you do a really good album.
Yeah, do
Isn't
heroin,
that
kid.
right, Lou Reed? Yeah,
All I heard was sun in the background, so I like to think that is
that's Lou
that
Reed.
was Lou Reed. That was a ghost of Lou Reed. So yeah, if that's gonna be it, we have an artist for next time.
Mhm.
Ooh. Who's gonna be next?
Oh,
I'm gonna let Finger announce next week's artist.
what is next artist? Tell me, and I'm gonna do like the normal my fancy presenter announcer thing.
Sorry. Oh, so I was okay. We're gonna do blonde redhead.
All right, next month,
Next month.
next year, we're doing the Blonde Redhead review.
Yeah.
They have 9
Where we're gonna
albums.
go through all of Blonde Redhead's albums, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
And we're not gonna do the
See
remix
you next
album this
time.
time.
I love you.
Yeah,
Do
I
heroin.
yeah, and
Heroin.
don't do tobacco, kids.
Don't do tobacco.
Okay.
Right.
Tobacco is for bitch ass nerds.
Are we done?
and yeah, see ya.